We have yet to see episodes 19 and 20 of season 3 of Tyler Perry's ZATIMA, but I'm kind of curious about Fatima and her friendships. What's good, y'all? It's your good sister Erica Vane coming to you right here on Erica Vane TV with another ZATIMA video. And in this one, I really want to discuss, why does Fatima friends betray her? If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss out on any of my ZATIMA content and conversations. And at any given point, you can let me know what you think about this topic in the comment section down below, because it's interesting to me. We really need to unpack. In episodes 17 and 18, we discover that Fatima's long lost friend Leslie is in a marriage with her ex-boyfriend, maybe her former first love, that she stole from Fatima basically and slept with while Fatima was still in a relationship with this man. We also discover that this man is apparently still in love with Fatima and wants Leslie to be Fatima, but he just basically settled for Leslie because he couldn't have Fatima after he betrayed her with infidelity. Leslie has an attitude about this, even though she has seemingly known this entire time that that man was in love with Fatima. And this comes after we have already been introduced to Fatima's other friends early on at the beginning of the ZATIMA series, Belinda and Angela, to which Belinda had a one-night stand with Zack at the airport. Then Zack doesn't fully remember her. She decides to make her presence known. And then in an effort to try to prove that Zack ain't tries to sleep with Zack again, forcing Fatima to go all ghetto hood, shoot him up, bow, bow, bang, bang with her, and then drop this girl as her best friend. Basically, Leslie was Belinda before Belinda was Belinda. And I am just so curious, why does Fatima have such a track record or a pattern with these type of women? What is it about Fatima? What is it about these women that has created this cycle of betrayal that she constantly seems to be subjected to? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not blaming Fatima for the people that betrayed her. The only thing that I would actually give her or ask her to be accountable to is if she's only found herself in friendship or in camaraderie with these girls because at some point she was trying to save them, help them, fix them, or whatever, because it does feel like Fatima has a little bit of that to her and her personality. She gives the girl who might have, been a pretty girl but not knew that she was a pretty girl, been a really cool chick but didn't know that she was a really cool chick. Maybe she felt like an outsider within her like criminal family and her mama was wayward and doing all of that, and she went out into the world and started to find people that she felt like she could be of use to, she could be of help with, and not really realizing that those same people looked at her and saw her beauty, saw her body, saw all of the things that she probably came with and were building up jealousy, but she was too busy focused on trying to build up friendship. That actually happens. And I think that that is a very interesting point to try to unpack if it's the case for the Fatima character, or at least the case with her particular backstory, because I think that this pattern also mirrors itself in the men that she chooses to date, because in the most recent episode she talks about how so many of the men that she had been with left her, which ultimately becomes a form of betrayal as well, right? And if you are meeting platonic friends, girlfriends, and hoping to save them, hoping to fix them, hoping to serve them in the hopes they never leave you, and then they do, I wouldn't be surprised if that wasn't transferring over as well into your romantic love and you're doing all of the same things. Now, the tea about that is she's still doing and repeating the same toxic pattern with Zack. The only difference is that Zack has not cheated yet. Zack has not left yet. We don't know the circumstances to which Zack would, if he could, actually do that to Fatima. But for me, one of the big things with her and how she has presented within the relationship with Zack is that she has been an enabler. She has been overly eager. And I do feel like she is not being equally served within a relationship. So yes, Zack has not physically cheated on her just yet. Yes, Zack has not actually abandoned her, quote unquote, just yet. He has also not been the actual partner that she deserves and that she actually needs, and he has been allowing her to overextend herself time after time after time, putting out all of these fires that he sparks up with his drama and his bullshit, and overly basically sacrificing her life, her interests, and all that kind of makes her her to be able to create a comfortable life and a relationship for him, and then framing it under the guise of them, which to me is just as bad as if somebody cheats on you. It's just as bad if somebody abandons you, because ultimately they're allowing you to sacrifice all of who you are to serve them. It's just a different form of betrayal, in my opinion. But anyway, back to the friendships. I think that, to the initial point, I think that there could be a very real argument about Fatima's friends betraying her because she is too focused on kind of like building validation for herself outside of herself. And I think that she finds a great amount of value in validation for herself in what she can do for others, how she shows up, and she doesn't necessarily fully see her inherent value, which puts her in a position to be betrayed not only by romantic lovers but also by friends. And then it seems to me that she doesn't really have a good discerning radar for jealous women that are around her, for women who ultimately want to be her. And I always say that you cannot be friends with people who want to be you. It just will never work. They can be inspired by you. They can be excited about what you're doing and then draw some excitement for what they want to do. But if somebody actually wants to be you, that will never actually work for y'all to be able to maintain a relationship, because for them to be you, you no longer have to exist. You would need to step out of your space for them to step in it and assume it. And they are ultimately projecting this idea of what their life could be, should be, whatever. And you're kind of an obstacle versus an inspiration, versus a mentor, versus something that could help push them to a new level for themselves within their own right, within their own path. And they're too busy focused on yours. Again, I really want to know what y'all think. And I don't want this to come across like, oh, I'm just blaming Fatima for all of the bad shit that happens to her, because I'm not. However, we do have to, again, be accountable for the things that we allow in our lives, the people that we allow in our lives, and the toxic cycles that we refuse to break because we're not fully seeing ourselves, our actions, and being accountable to that within all the circumstances that we find ourselves with. Quiet as kept. Angela could also be on the betrayal train simply because she is still maintaining a relationship with Belinda. And I, for the life of me, cannot figure out why she is maintaining a relationship with Belinda while she's watching Belinda be very shady and downright trifling to Fatima. And to me, Angela keeping that door open with Belinda is her setting herself up to indirectly betray Fatima at some point, even if she's not going to do it out of malicious intent. So quiet as kept. Fatima is surrounded by a bunch of bitches that are not actually her friend. And a man who is not actually her friend either. But that's a whole other conversation for a whole other video. More of the story. Be careful who you call homegirl. Be careful who you call bestie. Cut people off when necessary. But that doesn't mean that you have to cut people off and not work through relationships. People who want to actually be in a relationship with you, definitely work with them. Leslie don't want that. Belinda don't want that. Them hoes is jealous. 100%. And check the toxic patterns that might be cycling you, because yes, some of those people are trash, but there's something about you that's also allowing the trash to hang around. I cannot wait to see what y'all's thoughts are in the comment section. I'm headed down there right now. It's your good sis you love to talk TV with, and I'll see you in the next one.